The Tripods put on a heck of a show to try and qualify for ALGS Year 4, and there just might be a chance that they still get into Pro League. But let's talk about our final PLQ of all the PLQs this year. A finals that would give us our top 4 teams be separated by just 4 points, and our top 5 teams within 6 points. An absolute nail biter. You know what they say, you gotta save the best for last. So let's get down and do what it do. PLQ number 4, TLDR North America edition. And it should really be no surprise that the final North American PLQ would be hectic. The region that undeniably performs the best in the ALGS has a plethora of talent trying to break down the door to Pro League. But for most of the lobby, the task was simple: win and you're in. Otherwise, if you're hoping to get in off of those preseason points, we're going to need to have some more consistent teams all preseason long have a tough go of things the final week.
Yes, if Evolution and Nine Lives, if they, from here on out, lock in Pathfinder Caustic Vantage,
perfect,
and duke it out in the middle of Cascade Falls until a third party comes in, they will still make Pro League. And for those of you who are watching today going, why are they playing that crazy composition? Is this a Pro League roster? I raise to you the fact that these are the only 2 rosters who during every single preseason qualifier have made it to the finals and made it in style. So these 2 teams are going to Pro League. We do have 3 other teams in here today that can qualify based on where they place. If boys place above 7th today, they will be going to Pro League. If Oversleepers place above 8th, they will be going to Pro League. And if Drop In Gaming place above 8th, they will also be going to Pro League.
And just like we saw in the early games of the EMEA Final PLQ, you could definitely feel a tension with the teams playing a bit more slow and conservative, meaning the kill feed would absolutely light up with the 5th ring closing in on the bridge out between Checkpoint and the Mill, leaving SKTT2 and Rise fighting for the first dub of the day.
The rest of Nine Lives knew this was happening, but Laser, hiding behind a tree, is going to pop out and take out a few chunks from Temper. In comes the third party, and Temper goes down. Drop In Gaming still alive, even having lost Dunny, as they sit under the bridge. They take out board. 3 squads left. SKTT2 likely needing to take on Rise, who sit on the other end of this. Drop In Gaming are down, and it's Rise for the top of the bridge. SKTT2 underneath it.
And this is so important for Rise. We already set the stakes. They have it north of 9 eliminations. They took Drop In Gaming's position the moment they got into that engagement, and now they hold the top of the bridge. But Avexis needs to stay up here, but will fall. It's that Bangalore smoke out just in time. They're trading out, but it's going to be Silent, last alive in this situation, and connects. Can he make it happen? No, it's SKTT2.
And while SKTT2 were able to walk away with the dub and more placement points, they'd only see themselves in the lead by just 1 point over Rise, with Drop In Gaming and Temper tied at 13 points, and Try rounding out the top 5, also hitting double-digit points with 10 of them thanks. And our second trip to Storm Point would give us at least some consistencies, this time heading towards Barometer, but still with some repeat contenders in the end game, with both SKTT2 and Rise being left in the top 3, along with TSMX. But Rise doing a good job of controlling the high ground and being able to allow the fight between TSMX and SKTT2 to play out.
TT2 having moved up though, opens up Rise to swing around the side, now controlling one corner where TSMX controls SKTT2, send it onto TSMX, taking out the duo, securing themselves second place. There is a trade of knocks, but having picked up second, it looks like these 2 squads will be traded places in game number 2. In game 1, SKTT2 take the win. In game 2, it's Rise.
And things were already starting to look grim for pretty well everyone in the lobby but Rise and SKTT2, as they appeared to be pulling away from the rest of the pack. Now with Rise in the driver's seat with the 4-point lead, an additional 14 points between them and Temper, who was sitting in third, which meant another big game from both of these 2 squads could very easily make it a 2-team race by the time we were to head to World's Edge. And while Rise did go out in 12th in Game 3, they were able to pick up a big 7 points, which would be rather important as SKTT2 would be alive late yet again. This time being able to take advantage of the low but black market to stay plenty looted and booted for the final fights over at Pylon, but it would eventually be Los Licks able to pick up the dub along with a whopping 15 KP for a big 27-point game.
be curious to see how this goes, because once that Sheila winds up, it is the scariest thing. You just have to have someone sacrifice themselves out.
Yeah, when you see the laser being held like that, it's a really nice tactical advantage for SKTT2. They don't actually have to expend bullets from Sheila, but the laser acts almost as Gandalf did in Lord of the Rings, simply saying, this line you shall not pass. TS Mechs, you must go up and around us. Do not push, do not pass go, and certainly do not collect $200 unless they come in the form of arc stars. Another swing comes in. Another nice use of the Loba black market to get more grenades and set SKTT2 up for the push of their lives. Strevstax does get sucked back in by the black hole. Cap and Cobra needing to answer back. Behind the destroyed amped cover, Cap is going to try and get out to safety as the Crypt did push down, eliminating SKTT2, leaving themselves with just one team left to take on. Vera fights in a 1v1, but Los Licks from the side where everybody had counted them out.
But unfortunately for Los Licks, they had only started game number 3 with 5 points, so while their big performance would be enough for 3rd overall, there was still a 15-point gap between them and Rise, who sat in 2nd, who was just a mere 3 points behind SKTT2. As we are now halfway through our final PLQ final, getting ready for World's Edge, and this is when things would get incredibly interesting. Because game number 4 would see both Rise and SKTT2 being removed from the lobby relatively early. SKTT2 in 11th with just 2 points, and Rise in 10th with 5 points, meaning we would now have a tie for first, but the line would not move past 52, meaning plenty of other teams had an opportunity to close the gap. And while the Konichiwawas did have the high ground in the final circle, sitting on top of Temper's building, looking down side of Donut Shop, unfortunately, when it came time to move with the zone right on their tails, even a Wraith portal wouldn't be able to save them, as Donut Shop would be able to absolutely feast, doubling the KP of any other team in the lobby and walking away with a 24-point victory.
With the amped cover getting taken out, we're starting to swap over helmets as well. Konichiwawas have a portal that they can use if you need a little bit of extra cover, buying as much time as they can in what will be the zone, just to make a safe move into the ring proper. Ooh. Instant portal clip does not save their lives. Instead, it almost kills Gobble. Konichiwawas have wasted way too much health with this maneuver. The gamble has not paid off. They go down. Donut Shop gatekeep the last 2 members of Temper, and Donut Shop will be walking away with your 4th game win, the first one on World's Edge.
And even with SKTT2 and Rise both going out relatively early and adding minimal points, they'd still be in a 13-point lead over Temper, who was only 1 point ahead of Los Licks heading into Game 5. And again, both of our top 2 teams only adding a few points to their total in Game 5, giving us more room to make this final PLQ of Year 4 super suspenseful. And with 2 games being left, there were teams like Tripods who had to start playing with a sense of urgency. No longer would it be just about placements, but they'd have to go absolutely crazy.
That's going to be scary, but you know what's even weirier is the fact that Tripods are in a do or die scenario, knowing that they need every bit of elimination, similar to TS Mechs, right? But Tripods, knowing that they need that, have already full sent. They're turning their tides at, and they're kind of separating out and taking a different approach. Evolution will fall, so it will be just that isolated 3v3 against Tripods and TS Mechs.
And while pressure can cause pipes to burst, pressure can also create diamonds, and the Tripods would truly be able to step up to the test. 18 KP in game number 5, but unfortunately fall just a bit shy to try, who would be able to pop off for a 24-point win in their own right.
Trips do run out of cover. Tripods and an unending siege right above them, and now having hit the scan, could even find nades onto this very well looted up group. Getting a wingman back in the hands of Deeds is going to be fantastic, and with a singular arc star, make it 2. The Crypt will be taken down. I want to see that loot happen. I want to see the wingman picked up, but it doesn't look like I'm going to get my wish.
I mean, regardless of what is happening, the Tripods are putting on a show right now. Typically, they had been taking out only 3 KP from Spire Academy. Well, this time they took that, they're capitalizing on it, and they're moving forward. So now we just need to figure out what they're going to do to get into that zone, because we need to couple their eliminations and maximize it with a win, because that could really change the tides of their future and potentially send them to Pro League. And I don't want to get too excited right now because we are only in the 5th game, but this is a masterclass in what they needed to start earlier on in the series.
Beautiful smoke and grab lift from Gent and Deeds to move the entire team up here. It's the only thing keeping Tripods safe for now. And it is just a temporary status. Drop-in gaming do go down. Tri are still on the low ground, and Donut Shop are right next door. With ultimate high ground belonging to Tripods, the only thing they're missing is their IGL.
Well, look, they've got 2 knocks there onto Donut Shop, and that's going to turn the tides, and they will take those KP. Now, granted, a 2v3 situation against Tri. Nickmercs is fully eliminated, and they do not have the health advantage. Trying to stave off the push, they might have just taken a play for second, because Tri are going to hit the same grabs lift that put them on the top, and Tri will take out Tripods. Your winners now of map number 5.
Which would now put the Tripods in 3rd place and would be the first team to truly be within striking distance of Rise and SKTT2, who had been battling it out at the top of the leaderboard all series long. And while it'd be a long shot, realistically anyone from Temper down to Donut Shop would have the ability to still slide in and take that top spot, but it would require a big game in the final trip to World's Edge, as well as a little bit of help along the way.
Last game to finally put themselves in a spot where they can contend for a victory. We've already got some fights kicking off, in fact, is in order to, I'll say, artificially accelerate the pace of the game and get some more points, teams are dropping on top of each other.
We figured this would happen. The lobby quality in EMEA went down significantly throughout the journey of that series. In the 6th game, well, was the craziest infest I've ever seen. But for SKT T2, that needs a win, that is in currently 1st place, already has Cobra down and out.
But thankfully for the rest of the lobby, it was Evolution who was able to drop onto SKTT2 and would be able to take them out before they scored a single point. Meaning that when Rise went out in 14th and added 3 points, they would technically be in the lead. But they would only be 9 points ahead of the Tripods and 15 points ahead of Temper, and with both of those teams in the final 5 as the end game kept pulling over towards Geyser, it became evident that their lead would not be enough, and it was only a question of who would be the team sitting at the top after game number 6.
What's drawing my attention now is Los Licks, who have just arrived from the tunnel into Geyser, the one holding the vault, who now face off against Tripods. Los Licks were in 5th, only 8 points behind Tripods. If somebody can shut down the journey, Nickmercs, Gent, and Deeds, it's Los Licks who are just now walking up the hill to do it. Temper take their own fight on the low ground, seem to be doing all right, trading 1 for 1. They're attracting even more attention.
Ooh, and those wingman shots do come in clutch. The spray was a little wild at first, but it does connect, and they eliminate Oversleepers. The journey for them is potentially done, but look who has made the move. That engagement allowed Tripods to get just a little bit more closer to Los Licks, and already expending the beast of the hunt, trying to vie for some information. We are holding on to that scan frag in hand, just waiting. Let's keep an eye out. 1 assist, 2 eliminations. So we know they've got at least 3 points here thus far, and they're inching their way up into the placement points. At what point do the Tripods need to usurp SKT, T2, and Rise?
And Los Licks take them down before this happens. And they jump over all of those hurdles that are in their way to actually take the win. Los Licks toss out a few nades, get some through the window right back. Chickus goes low, may even go down to the next frag, but they manage to avoid it. Next frag not going to be utilized for now. Los Licks took much too much damage, even as Tripods were unaware. It does mean that an ult is down. Los Licks cannot push off of the black hole anymore. It's gonna have to wait until next zone. 5 squads still left. Tripods accumulating even more placement points, even as they eat an Arc Star.
here we go. The push comes to shove. Gent is going to do the brunt of it. Able to do so much damage, but the trade comes through. Now Deeds and Nickmercs, that hitfire not going to be favorable. It will fall into Nickmercs, but they will fall to Los Licks. Did they do enough? Well, time will tell. 9 Lives in the meantime capitalize on the third party, eliminated Los Licks right after. So now the points will have to come down to the final wire, because Los Licks would have been the team that could potentially have put the issue towards Tripods. Falling right after that, well, now we look towards it. Also, Dia, I haven't seen the zone in forever, since Pro League, back when we started, and it was Complexity that was holding the spot before they got oobed. It was scary, it was crazy, and now 9 Lives have it for free.
They're back to run it, and they're running it with Conduit, who's actually going to be fantastic in a position like this, where multiple teams have to leave a building, and they've all got to walk through the energy barricade. I don't see it happening. I see 9 Lives taking this final game, and even as I say that, they're going to be the ones to push in and take the game by force, eliminating Temper and moving us to just the 1v3 between 9 Lives and Konichiwawas. It's a bit of a ceremonial run. We knew 9 Lives were moving to Pro League, but now they get to do it in style.
Now, all we have to do, Dia, is sit here and wait and speculate and try to determine what in the world that leaderboard is going to look like, because it has been crazy. And now we have to sit here and think, knowing that SKTT2 went out insanely early in that map number 6. Rise very quick to follow, even though they've been so consistent throughout the day. Until World's Edge, which will be the bane of their existence should this not kind of end in a qualification spot for them to Pro League, we have to just sit here and speculate, because I want to know, Dia.
Let's find out. The final winner of this preseason qualifier, the 4th one in a long series, a long journey for everyone, and arguably the most chaotic preseason qualifier yet, has given us one more team to Pro League. Your winner is Temper!
What? What?
I'm sorry, I just dropped everything.
And while the Tripods did indeed do enough to overtake Rise by just 1 point, it was Temper with their 3rd place finish that would be able to do just enough, and I mean just enough, edging out the Tripods by just 1 point in order to lock in their spots for Pro League. Meaning that now with our 4 weeks of PLQs done, we had 4 more spots to Pro League to lock in, and it would be 9 Lives, Evolution, S2, and Drop In Gaming securing our final spots for Pro League for year 4 of the ALGS. Which does unfortunately mean for the Tripods that even though they tried so hard and got so far, in the end it just doesn't even matter. However, the good news if you're a Tripods fan is that sometimes you have to fall to lose it all, and in the end it still doesn't even matter, because you see, with the recent news that Sweet is going to be joining the Stallions, that would mean that there's an open invite slot for the ALGS to fill, and while I did try and delay this video a couple days to see if we can get an answer, there doesn't appear to be one just quite yet. So that does mean that there is still a chance that the Tripods do end up in Pro League for year number 4. I would say it definitely seems like that would be best for business, but let me know what you guys think down in those comments below. And of course, if you want to stay up to date with ALGS with breakdown videos like this, and you want to make sure you're back for every region every week, make sure you subscribe down below and you've got those notifications turned on. Of course, you always got that playlist right up there as well. Until we catch y'all back over here for the next one, man, don't forget, with everything crazy going on in the world today, be true, be you, be sincere, game hard and love hard. All right, y'all? It's your boy Q, signing out.